Racers in Baum-Walker Stadium and came up just short to the Kentucky Wildcats by 9 points in Rupp Arena, which what really felt like an old SEC battle between Kentucky and Arkansas. And they've scored 100-plus each before in this rivalry, Tommy, and it really took a lot of people back to the 90s, the amount of offense that we saw over and over on Saturday.
You didn't see much defense in that game, that's for sure. Hey, it's a Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. They've got all the major brands that you're looking for, including Grand Design, Forest River, and Brinkley. Check out the Brinkley Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty at Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
So it's wild during this game. Not a single person had double-digit rebounds in Rupp Arena for both Kentucky and Arkansas. And the reason for that is because there weren't a lot of missed shots during that basketball game. Arkansas, again, falls 111 to 102, and when both the Razorbacks and the Wildcats were running up and down. We were talking about the Kentucky-Alabama game, which happened the week prior. This was very similar. Arkansas started, I think, 5 or 6 from the field, and then really just kept it up the majority of the game until the final 3 minutes or so. But if offense is what you like, then you enjoy that game. If you enjoy defense on a college basketball court, you probably should have turned it off way earlier than you did.
Yeah, and Arkansas had real good chance to win this game with about 3 minutes to go. And Ty, I mean, just too many live ball turnovers down the stretch, and we can debate and argue why those happened, but I was honestly surprised wasn't surprised that the Hogs were in the game and competed. I was a little surprised with 5 minutes to go, 3 minutes to go, they had a chance to win the ball game. Mm-hmm. If you'd have held gun to head and said, hey, you got to bet a mortgage payment on this game, I'd have taken the Hogs in 13.5 on the Bet Saracen app. But in the end, it got a little bit dicey about that. End up 9 points, but yeah, Arkansas gave themselves a chance. Good fight. Took it into the late rounds. Just didn't close the deal.
Yep. We're going to hear from us. We're going to hear from you on the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. Also hear from Dave Van Horn, who was pleased with his team's really game 2 and game 3 performance. It got a little dicey in game number 1 and just a 5-3 win for the Arkansas baseball team. 5-1 in game 1. It was 5-3 in game 3. But the Razorbacks, again, swept the Racers this weekend. The story, once again, coming off of baseball weekend was the pitching, where you had Brady Tigert, Hagen Smith, and Mason Molina all had outstanding performances, all had double-digit strikeouts, which last time I checked, Arkansas is leading the country in that category and really picking it up from their starting rotation. But it's not just those guys. It's guys coming out of the bullpen. You know what you have in Will McIntyre. You have the last couple years some other guys as well. Frank and Geckel had some good performances on Friday, and some other guys stepped up. So it was good to see Arkansas as we get closer to SEC play being just around the corner, as it is March. Not only do we have March Madness, but we have the beginning of SEC baseball too.
Yep, going to be a fun midweek game. UCA, an in-state opponent, 3 o'clock tomorrow. So that will, I know there's, seemingly you get some games with more people asking for tickets than others. That's a game where I've had a lot of people say, hey, you know where some tickets are? My son, my daughter, somebody went to UCA. They're Razorback fans, but they went to UCA and want to go to this game. I think we'll see a pretty decent Tuesday attendance for a 3 o'clock game, but playing the in-state team. I think there'll be some Conway folks come up, but I know some people are going to enjoy going to that game because they've had a son, daughter, or themselves went to UCA, and they want to see the school they went to go and play the school they love.
And speaking of in-state schools that are not in Fayetteville, I want to congratulate Darrell Walker and Little Rock, who are the regular season OVC champions. Not guaranteed just yet to make the NCAA tournament, but they've set themselves up nicely for the conference tournament and could end up there. So my hot take this morning is jump on the Trojans train. Hopefully they'll get a chance to play in the NCAA tournament as they did under Chris Beard years ago. That was a lot of fun to watch that team beat Purdue and have some NCAA tournament success. Arkansas is not going to be in the NCAA tournament unless something nuts happens in Nashville. So if you're going to jump on an NCAA tournament team, I'm not telling you to pick Little Rock to win your bracket, But if you're going to cheer for someone, you might as well cheer for a former Razorback that's coaching, done a great job. Got a couple Arkansas guys. Mikel Mitchell, of course, played on this team last year. KK Robinson, Bryant Kidd. So there might be one or two others that are on from the state as well. But that's my hot take, is jump on the Trojans train because he's done a great job there this year.
Yeah, they've only been in the OVC a few years now after leaving the Sun Belt. One of the few schools that didn't play football. Sun Belt football has kind of elevated itself, so OVC became a good fit for them. So good for them to win a conference title kind of early on in their history in the OVC.
Yep, and again, for Coach Walker, I know that to have the Arkansas connection and for them to do what they've done to this point, pretty special, and he's got a lot of people that really support him, so congratulations to him here on this Hot Take Monday edition of the Morning Rush. We got plenty to get to outside of that, some college football news. Barry Odom was riding a bull in Vegas. The college football stuff that stands out might be a third signing period in June, which would be pretty nuts. Looks like helmets are coming to college football, and there's going to be iPad usage or tablet usage on the sidelines as well, really shifting towards the NFL. Saw that with the Rules Committee looking at that. So plenty of changes coming, as we've seen the last couple years, and just more additions sound like coming down the pipe.
Did you say helmets are coming to college football? I thought we had those already.
Radio helmet usage.
Okay, all right. Well, that's long overdue. I
would
figured
think
that's
so.
Well, I mean, the money and the technology is there. So
well, that was the issue prior to. It's one thing for an SEC institution to have it, but they were worried about a competitive disadvantage for those that can't, again, handle that. And that goes back to your argument of we should separate at some point certain schools from others on the college football side of things. But the argument for years is just the money cost that some have been
that much.
I wouldn't think so either.
It can't
but
be that much.
That was the pushback. You know how athletic departments, in some cases, they spend abnormal amounts of money in some areas, and then they're penny pinchers in others. Football is usually not one of their penny pinchers, but that was the feedback and the pushback when it came to not instituting these just yet. Not finalized, but it looks like it's going to happen.
The smallest FBS programs have budgets of tens of millions.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just have a hard time believing that. Hey, March is the month to warm up with preseason savings on your choice of new Holland equipment at WT Equipment. Right now, the model you want is at the best savings of the year. Get 0% financing for 60 months or a free loader with compact tractors, 0% financing or cash back on mid-range tractors, and get a select hay tool. Or you can step all the way up to the new T7 Series tractors and get up to $40,000 in cash back. Hurry into WT Equipment today and shop their huge selection of in-stock inventory. Whatever the model you choose, you'll get a reliable quality, efficient power, and an easy-to-operate package sure to handle a wide range of chores. Hurry into WT Equipment today and take home a truckload of savings when you buy now. Offers in March 31st at WT Equipment. Find a location near you online at WTEquip.com.
Also, want to mention Chris Mortensen is dead at 72. His son Alex played football for the University of Arkansas. He's one of the best NFL reporters and journalists that we've had in the last few years. So we'll share some stuff about him this morning. I know many of his colleagues reached out and are very sad to see him go. He's got in Arkansas and really loved Northwest Arkansas. So we got plenty to get to here on a Hot Take Monday. Jump in with us throughout the morning on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Another 3 hours coming up.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guns.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV now through the end of February. We're rolling out the red carpet for you with our exclusive employee pricing event on select in-stock trailers. That's right, you pay what we pay. It's our way of saying thank you for choosing Wheels RV. Employee pricing on select models. RV show pricing on all new and used inventory. Hurry in, this offer is for a limited time only. Visit Wheels RV today for details and to start planning your next great adventure. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
He struck him out swinging. This is historic. You've never seen anything like this before.
This is the Morning Rush.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog,
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Swiss dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for two for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for two for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen, or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Elect Judge Sam Terry to Fort Smith District Court on March 5th. Trusted, experienced, and fair, Terry is a former prosecutor and experienced attorney. Judge Terry has been appointed an Arkansas Supreme Court Special Associate Justice and shows his community commitment through numerous volunteer efforts. Vote Judge Sam Terry for Fort Smith District Court Judge on March 5th. The right experience and the right integrity. Early voting begins February 20th. Paid for by the Committee to Elect Sam Terry.
Spring is just around the corner, and Jelco Outdoors is ready with all of your spring fishing gear. Crappie, bass, catfish, Jelco has a great selection of rods, reels, and baits to help you fill that stringer. Spring turkey supplies are rolling in daily, and the firearms department is stocked up with ammo for outdoor shooting. Spring is almost here, so get outdoors and enjoy the spring season. Stop by Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, for all your outdoor gear. Think spring, think Jelco Outdoors.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. Sign up now for Pascal's Planned Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Almost heaven, West Virginia.
You know I've had a heater while I'm waiting on y'all to get me on the radio. Reeves with a rebound. Outlet to Tiero, and Mark steals the ball from him. Mark steals it. Saves it to Battle. Underneath Devo, back to Mark. Layup good. Mark with a bucket. And Arkansas leads at 81-75.
The Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Brought to you by Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. You can listen to it at hitthatline.com or wherever you hear your favorite podcasts.
At that point, really thought Arkansas might pull it out. Unfortunately, again, didn't go the Razorbacks' way down the stretch. 9-point loss. Continue to react to that. The baseball series. Plenty of other college football news to get into here on Hot Take Monday. And we're going to talk to Ryan in Hot Springs coming up in just a sec.
Brought to you by the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue. It will help you catch those big fish you're looking for on the lake or on the river. If you're headed to the White River soon for that big brown or trophy rainbow you've always dreamed of, the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue will suspend in the strike zone longer, allowing you to catch more fish. And it works in a heavy current, or you can work it slow through some slack water as well. You'll find it to be very, very productive for you. Find the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LearnEd.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
Ryan had some thoughts this morning. He wanted to jump in with us early. Ryan, welcome in.
Yes, sir. Good morning, guys. Hope y'all having a good morning so far.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey, while you're talking about the Rogue, I'll go ahead and throw this out there. It won't be long. I'll be catching some walleye on them.
Yeah, and that's good eating right there.
You daggum right. It was kind of funny. I was joking with a buddy of mine. So I can't really fully call this because I said this jokingly. But when all that was going on with old boy at Harbaugh at Michigan, I kind of joked about this. That was all kind of like a conspiracy to get radios in the helmets because there was a lot of coaches that weren't really that upset. I'm not saying there weren't coaches upset, but it just kind of felt like, I'm not going to say it was, like it's all done intentionally to get radios in the helmets, but there wasn't really enough coaches upset by Harbaugh. It felt like they were more upset that they didn't have radios in the helmets. And then six months later, we got radios in the helmets. I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah,
at the time, I told my buddy, I said, watch this, they're fixing to get radios in the helmet. And I said, Harbaugh's going to be the fall guy. Of course I said that tongue-in-cheek, but I thought that was kind of funny, and then it comes to fruition. But
needed to happen
I got a question
a few years ago already.
Right, I agree to that. While we're talking about walleye, what would you rather eat, crappie or walleye?
Either one's great. Probably pan-fried walleye.
I would have to agree with that. I say walleye's 1A and crappie's 1B.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So, that's my thoughts. Hope y'all have a great day, and go Hogs.
Ryan, appreciate the call. So the story we kind of referenced in the last segment that we'll come back to is Pete Thamel of ESPN reporting that college football leaders are expected to finalize a use of player-to-coach helmet communication system, a.k.a. the radio and helmets, actually from Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports. Other things that are being looked at and probably going to head that way are tablets both in the locker room at half and on the sideline, and a 2-minute warning in college football, which I think is interesting too. It's an extra timeout in both halves.
This is, I was told this about a month ago. This was coming by some of my buddies that officiate college football, and it's really, it's TV wants it first of all because it ensures one more timeout. I think the teams won't be against it. I wish they would maybe reserve it for games that are within, say, 3 touchdowns and not do it. I mean, we talk about trying to get to the next game. Man, if it's a 28-point game, this game is over. Having a 2-minute warning that's only going to delay you getting to the start of your game on time on TV is going to be a bit frustrating. But some of the rules, like basketball, inside 2 minutes, there's certain things you can go replay and review. Well, it's the same thing in football. There is new rules or new opportunities to look at things through replay that open up at 2 minutes. So it's also a good opportunity for the crew to kind of reset and get in a final 2-minute thought there because there are things that become available to them through the rules inside 2 minutes as well.
And I don't know how technically this would work, but you can do it on the apps. I wish there was a way where during the course of you watching a game or games on ESPN or CBS or wherever you're partaking in them that day, that when your game starts at 3:30 or whatever time it's supposed to, that you have the ability, even if the other game is still going on, that you could just start on that game. And I realize, again, you could do it on the ESPN app and you could do it on a couple apps, but I'm just talking about on because a lot of us still have just normal television or a normal streaming service that, again, it's just a hassle to have to exit out, go on the app because you have the login information and credentials. But I would think there would be a way for them to just have the ability to flip over to your game if you wanted to do that.
We're going to go there because regular television, unless it's over the air, is going to be gone in probably 5 years or less as we all start to stream more. So, I think that technology is going to take care of that. But even when they do that, I mean, it's a hassle twice because you got to switch back from one app to the TV to the, to even when you go there to get the game started. When they quit putting it on that particular one, you got to go back, So that happens sometimes. You're lucky when they put, all right, we're going to start you on ESPN News. That makes it easy. They ought to have a reserve channel for each conference. All right, here's where we're going to put games that don't have a place to start,
And you always,
how about the alternate channel for that?
That continually has the rotation of the SEC logo, which is really irritating when you feel like that they could just easily put it on there, and yet they don't do that. So that is, again, looks like it's coming to college football. Has not been finalized just yet, but based on what you read from credible college football reporters like Ross Dellinger or Pete Thamel, something else. But the other story is the fact that it looks like we're getting another recruiting cycle, another calendar. Pete Thamel having that out in June, which I love. I think that's a great idea. I know we've talked about it before, and we didn't think college football coaches would be in favor of it, Tony, but based on what you read, it looks like that might end up happening.
Yeah, looks like it is. And I've been in favor of, instead of having the December signing period, let's just do it in August. Now they're talking, June to add a signing period. I just think there's a number of kids out there that know where they want to go, know who they want to play for, and there's this fear like they'd take their senior year off. Well, we're seeing that happen because of NIL already in very limited cases. So I don't know that kids are going to take off and not play hard their senior year of high school because they already signed their letter of intent. In their minds, they're already going to sign it, and most of those top shelf kids, it's not like the school's going to pull it from them. So, I mean, to me, that argument just doesn't hold a lot of water with me.
I'm excited to see that happen again. We're far, far out from college football. Mitford mentioned conference basketball is just around the corner, as is the NCAA tournament. It is a bummer that Arkansas is not going to be a participant. Looks like Little Rock could be if they win the OVC, and there's other teams that I've been watching and looking forward to seeing what they do in the postseason. My dad was happy. Baylor beat Kansas at home this weekend. So, again, college basketball is very, very hot right now. We have several conference tournaments coming up. I always know we look forward to what happens in Nashville, what happens in Kansas City, the Big 12 tournament, but the smaller ones get going this week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to some of that and teams punching their tickets to the tournament. All right, Chuck joins us in just a few minutes. We're brought to you by West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services. They've been around since 1993. I've got a shower drain that's draining a little slow. Might be time to call West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services and let them clean all the drains in the house and get them flowing again the way you want. If you own a business with a grease line that you need someone to continuously service or maintenance that, or you got a problem with the gas line, or you need one put in, hot water tank on the fritz, or whatever your plumbing issue is, sewer line maybe, they handle all of that. You never know when the problem's going to happen, so put the number in your phone, 479-646-5151. That's 646-5151. Since 1993, West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services, 646-5151.
We'll get Chuck's thoughts on what happened in Lexington. He was also on call for the baseball game on Sundays. We'll touch both those topics and more coming up.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG. Bring your own guns.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our number one volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the number one soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
This is the Morning Rush.
Jam-packed house here in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd.
Happen. The latest zone covering Subiaco and Scranton is now open. Make this New Year's resolution come true with internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or phone 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
It's 2024. Let's go see what's new at the Golf Nut. Peen G430 Max 10K driver. Peen's straightest and most forgiving driver. TaylorMade QI 10 Max woods and irons with 10K inertia, making it the most forgiving driver ever. And Cleveland Launcher XL2 woods and irons. Call Matt Brooks for a lesson, 646-4430. And start a new year with more confidence on the course. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we have the biggest and best selection of premium pre-owned vehicles we've had in years. Many with low miles and those special features you're looking for, and each one road ready certified with warranty. Be sure to ask about the weekly specials that can save you up to $4,000. Road ready certified used cars and savings up to $4,000. 2 more reasons all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Pick and roll. Lawson going to drive into the paint. Right side, Davenport. He'll launch another 3, and it's good! Davenport, with 9 minutes to go, puts the Hogs up by 9. It's 84-75, an 18-3 run.
Jeremiah Davenport had himself quite a game on Saturday at 10 Lexington, hitting 3 triples. I know a lot of love was spread to Caleb Battle and Tremont Mark, but Davenport also had a good game. Makai Mitchell had a good game. Several guys really stepped up. Just not enough in the tank for this Arkansas basketball team. Cost themselves late. Chuck, of course, was calling the game. Also called the baseball game yesterday. We'll get his thoughts on both those things coming up here on Hot Take Monday.
Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, the home of the lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Top brands like Grand Design, Forest River, and Brinkley. Be sure and check out the Model Z. It's got the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels from Brinkley. And like always, Brinkley's, just like Grand Design and Forest Rivers, come with that lifetime warranty. Stopping to see why Wheels has been voted the best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV is 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Chuck, good morning, man.
Good morning.
And you had a busy weekend.
I did have a busy weekend, as a matter of fact. And yesterday was good. I enjoyed being at the ballpark. And Saturday was a great basketball game. Just our team didn't win.
You know, I think you may be the best fill-in baseball announcer in the country. I've got to go see what so? I've got to go see what the net rankings
Is there
say
a cash prize for that?
But you're pretty good. I mean, we love Phil, but you sound like you've done it before.
I have done it a few times before. I'll tell you, it was really weird, and it's just weird doing it again now as opposed to the way it was when I did it. Everything was on paper then, and everything's on a screen now. And I don't know if anyone has more paper around them doing a game than I do. I'm sure of that.
Well, I was listening to you and Bubba talk yesterday about TrackMan, and I think he was calling it the third member of the broadcast crew with the screen yesterday as I was listening, and I guess it is an adjustment, but it was.
He understands it a lot better than I do.
Yeah,
and I mean, he's now Bubba played the game and he teaches the game, and he's got an intricate knowledge of things the rest of us probably don't. So he sees things on that screen maybe the rest of us don't see. Certainly, I don't see.
You were telling a story about a baseball game. I think it's a Cardinal game you'd attended, and some lady that was in her 70s behind you said, "What's the launch angle or spin rate?" Or
well, I was watching the game, and a guy hit a ground ball to third, and he was out. And the lady behind me said, "What was the exit speed?" And it dawned on me that that's very easy. That's a way that if you don't completely understand the game, and I'm not trying to be condescending, but if you don't completely understand the game, it's very easy to understand exit speed. It's right up there on the screen, and man, hey, hit that ball hard. Now, to me, it was a hard hit ball to third and a 5-3 out. But to her, exit speed made it interesting.
Well, Arkansas, I don't know about exit speed in Lexington, but kept the gloves up into the late rounds, and with about 3 minutes to go, Chuck, they had a chance to win this ball game.
Yeah, I knew Kentucky would make a run there at the end. I mean, you just played the highlight a minute ago when they got up 9. They did play, they scored and played well, and Kentucky's got a lot of firepower, man. I mean, they've got a lot of firepower. I'll tell you, they remind me of the Razorbacks in the mid-'90s. Mm-hmm. Now, that team was a little bit better defensively than this one is, although that team gave up high point totals. If you look back at it, if you really look at the average points given up by the opponent, there's not that much difference in the two teams. But I think Kentucky's a really, really good athletic basketball team, and I thought Arkansas hung with them and made plays. And gosh, you hate to say this. I hear people say things like this, and it just makes my skin crawl. But they played that way all year long. Probably have a lot more wins.
That's how Tommy opened the show.
Yeah, I said that earlier.
I mean, it does. It makes your skin crawl to say that, but it's true.
It just pissed me off.
Yeah, I'm ready for. I'm ready for.
The skin crawl, pissed off either way.
Yeah, I'm ready for Antonio Reeves to be in the NBA. Chuck. I mean, I think he's gone for 20 plus in every game that he's played Arkansas since transferring to Lexington, and even in losses, he's been good. And I mean, he has 22 and really sliced you up. They got Dillingham back for that game. Arkansas did it pretty much. Was pretty happy about what they did on him. I don't know if the game plan was to let DJ Wagner shoot, but he carved you up 4 or 5 from 3. They just kept hitting shot after shot. Ended up 9 of 20 from the 3-point line. You mentioned Kentucky being similar to Arkansas in the 90s. This is the best shooting team Cal's ever had. It's not close. That's why they're so tough, is not only do they have that athleticism your typical Kentucky teams have, but you can't leave these guys open. That's what makes them such a difficult cover.
Well, you're right. I mean, I don't know if it's his best offensive team ever, but they're really good. And I don't want to denigrate the defense. I know people, if we played a little defense. Guys, Kentucky's top-notch. I wish that every Razorback fan had an opportunity to have been inside that arena and seeing what the atmosphere was like, seeing what the team they were playing was like. I thought Arkansas did a hell of a job to hang the way they did.
Yeah. This was the
people
track
can
meet.
gripe and moan and say whatever they want. But and look, this season's not been great. There are things in the season to gripe about. But Saturday's not one of them.
Yeah.
No, this is the track meet.
Here was Muss after the game.
Yeah, I mean, I thought our team played extremely hard. We had a couple costly turnovers that I thought changed the complexion of the game because they were live ball turnovers. So I would say the 2 crucial turnovers, and the effort was phenomenal today by us and by Kentucky. Kentucky played as hard as I've seen a team play, and I thought our team, being here live, our team played as hard as we could play as well.
We talk a lot about how college basketball and college sports, when you really break it down, is entertainment. We wondered on this program Friday if CBS wasn't unhappy that they had this game. We did. We all did.
Yeah.
And we were entertained on Saturday. I mean, if you weren't entertained for 2.5 hours Saturday, you got a problem.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly right. And, over 200 combined points. There aren't many college basketball games this year. Probably less than 24 have combined. Two teams, but both in the hundreds, to over 200 points. This was like the first half of an NBA All-Star game or something.
Back-to-back Saturdays in Rupp where you had,
and
I think Alabama was in the 90s, but
Kentucky scored 100 points 6 times this year.
Yeah.
That is a high-powered offense.
And they keep doing it at this point. So again, that was the outcome from the weekend. We've got some more Muss audio that we get to. Again, 111-102 the final. We'll see what Arkansas does and if they can bounce back this Wednesday against LSU.
And they were still, in this game that was a track meet up and down the floor, lots of possessions. There were still fouls called. There was, Kentucky still had 42 free throw attempts.
More called on Arkansas than Kentucky.
There was a few there at the end, but and Arkansas had a few technical fouls, as did Kentucky. But in the end, this was a game where it was just a race to the half court.
Hey, let me mention this. You guys may have talked about this. This is the 15th time in Razorback basketball history that both teams had scored 100 points. But I'm quoting Hog Stats here. The first time since March of '94, 30 years, when Arkansas beat LSU in overtime.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, you may have this from Hog Stats. I was just glancing to notice this on the box score, and should be pointed out. Arkansas was 27 of 28 at the free throw line. That's 96%. I don't know where that ranks in single game performances percentage wise, but
I don't know. I don't know how long they kept that, to be honest. But that one would be hard to beat.
Yeah, and that's what gave them a chance to win the game. Is how effective they were. But 17 of 18
I'm going to say
complete
this.
battle.
I'm just going to say this. I thought Kentucky got a really kind whistle.
Yeah, they did.
I thought they got the whistle of a team that was in the top 10 or 15, and I thought Arkansas got the whistle of a team that wasn't. And now it's kind of how sports works. Good teams get the calls, bad teams don't. But I don't say that very often. Most of the time I end the game, and I hear people griping about the refs, and sometimes I don't even know what they're talking about. But I thought Kentucky got a favorable whistle.
Anytime it was a 50-50 call, they favored Kentucky, like the walk.
Well, I'm not going to go that far. I'm just going to say, I think that's too far, to be honest with you. But I do think they got a favorable whistle.
And like that walk where Muss got that tech. I mean, if that happens to Arkansas in Rupp Arena, he's getting called for travel, and they're going the other way.
That wasn't a travel, though. It was not a travel, period.
What do you
the
mean?
way they call traveling now, I don't know if it was a travel or not.
It was.
I don't know.
I can tell you. Without question.
Why was that?
It was not because he did not. You cannot travel unless you have possession. He did not have possession of the ball before he went down to the floor. That was not a travel. That was a technical foul.
To Arkansas.
Listen,
listen.
Muss
but it
is in
did
charge
happen
of
to
himself.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Let's. I didn't mean to spark one of these. If that had happened to Arkansas discussions, the point is, it did not happen to Arkansas. I'm not talking about that call. I'm talking about Kentucky going to the foul line 42 times. I'm not talking about that walk. I don't care about that. What I'm talking about is I thought when it came to contact on both ends of the floor, whether it involved a foul on Arkansas or a non-foul on Kentucky, I thought they got a favorable whistle when it came to contact. I don't care about the walk call, and I don't know if it was bad or not. But I do think there was a lot of contact, and Arkansas should have gotten to the foul line as many times as Kentucky did. I don't think Arkansas got a bad whistle when they were called for fouls, but I don't think Kentucky got called for enough of them.
That's a fair take, but I can just tell you on that walk, it was at an angle that even Muss couldn't see it. It was hard for Doug Chauncey on the baseline, but that was not a walk because he did not have possession as he went to the floor. And I understand why Muss responded the way he did, but that's what his response is what got him the technical foul, and there was no question about his behavior and whether it merited a technical foul at that moment.
You mentioned the free throws. That was, again, the big discrepancy when you lose by 9 and it's a 42-28 differential at 14. But you look at the other stats. I mean, Arkansas kept it in field goal percentage. They kept up in 3-point percentage. They kept they got beat in the rebounds, but Muss told you post-game it wasn't as bad. I know they won the rebounding contest, but a lot of similar stats, or at least close enough where it wasn't. But, again, 14 difference. And I know they got some fouls late, but that was the biggest change. I mean, Arkansas had less turnovers than Kentucky. I know the ones they probably hurt Arkansas late of the timing of when theirs were, but it was a very comparable game in terms of where they were in stats.
Well, if you look at the final numbers, and again, we can argue about whether the calls were good or not. There's no question that the number of free throws was one of the differences in the game. Look, Arkansas had to have a record night to stay in it at the foul line. You know, if they'd had an average night, well, let's say they'd shot, 22 of 28. That'd be a pretty good night.
Yeah.
That's 5 less than they are right now. They lose by 10 plus. And the difference is at the foul line.
Mm-hmm.
So they'd have basically a record-setting day at the foul line to even make those numbers comparable at the free throw line. Otherwise, we're looking back at the end of the day and saying, man, they just got demolished at the free throw line, and that's why they lost.
Well, the difference is 14. I don't know how many fouls there were inside that last 3 minutes where Arkansas had to foul to stop the clock, but probably 3 or 4. Is that about right, Chuck?
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe
so, I mean, that probably led to half of the differential. So.
Well, I'm not one to knock officials. I know they do a good job, generally speaking. Every one of those guys in the SEC that I know I speak to before every game, I consider them to be working professionals. I really do.
They are.
I think Doug Shows is as good as there is in the college game. But they're not infallible, and they're not always right. And they do favor a crowd of 21,000 people, just as they did when we had that kind of setup here. You think we didn't get call after call after call? You think teams didn't leave Bud Walton Arena griping about how they couldn't get a whistle in that place? Frankly, they still do. But I just thought Saturday, I'm not blaming the refs. I thought Saturday, though, the officials got caught up in the fact they played in Rupp Arena. Guys, Rupp Arena is a really, really, really big-time atmosphere. It's like we used to be. And it's tough to go up there and win now.
Yep. Caleb Battle, one of those guys individually that had a great night shooting from the free throw line too, 17 of 18. To me, the biggest question of the offseason, we mentioned this a little last week, is if he decides he wants to play his final year at Arkansas, great, love to have him back. But the suitors you'll potentially have to fend out, because I guarantee you right now, another hot take here on Hot Take Monday, he's getting text from other players at other colleges, potential other coaches. I mean, they're not just kind of waiting till the offseason, waiting for him to make a decision in the portal. He's had 3 straight 30-point games. Only other player to do that is Mason Jones in the history of Arkansas basketball. He again put up only the second highest in SEC. Guys, he is going to be a hot commodity depending on where he decides to play his final year of basketball next year.
I don't know about that. I mean, he may be. You're right. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people look at Caleb Battle right now over the last 4 games and say that's a good player. I think you're sounding the alarm, though, and I'm not sure that I'm not really sure that's what's exactly going on.
Anytime, and the reason you jump out in front of this is because anytime you have situations, and this isn't just a thing that happens here in Fayetteville, but on college campuses across the country now in football, basketball, baseball, it's not as prevalent as other sports because we don't talk about it or we just don't care about it as much. But it is happening now. Tampering is happening all over the country.
You're speaking very generally. I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is we're not really privy to the conversation between Battle and Muss. We don't know if teams are coming after him or not. You're speaking very generally and applying it in this case, and we're not really sure that's what's going on.
Yeah. And do we know if he wants to leave or not? I mean,
I mean, you are speaking generally, and there's nothing wrong with that. And tampering is part of college basketball. But I think it's taken a leap here to say it's going on in this case.
Well, Chuck had a busy week coming up. Arkansas plays their final home basketball game against LSU. If you're looking for a ticket for the final game in one of the toughest places to play in the country, and I guess I would suppose there would be a big crowd here for the final one, you can go to SeatGeek.com, the official resale marketplace of Arkansas Athletics, and get a ticket for those that are out there in the marketplace. LSU and Bama this week, not an easy draw for the Hogs, who are trying to get back to 500 or better, headed to Nashville for the conference tournament.
Sorry, you cut out there.
I'm sorry. LSU and Bama this week, not an easy draw if you're trying to get back to 500 before Nashville.
No. And you know, when I look at Arkansas right now, and I didn't know if I would ever say this, I think they play better basketball away from home. I think they're more connected right now away from home. And I don't know if, you know, I think some of the games they've played, I've just kind of felt that way. I think LSU will be a tough game Wednesday night. LSU's got a lot to play for. And Alabama at their place, senior day, you know, it'll be a tough place to go win. That's for sure.
Yeah, some of these road performances, like you look at, and especially as of late, have been better. You think about the win against A&M, the close loss to Mississippi State. Maybe it's the caliber of competition, like when you play Auburn and Tennessee, who are two of the top 4 or 5 teams in the league at home. That has something to do with it. But this Alabama team who lost the tight one to Tennessee on Saturday, I don't expect Arkansas. I didn't necessarily expect them to get blown out in Lexington. You kind of feel like if they can play something similar. First of all, it's going to be another track meet like it was in Lexington, where 2 teams could score 80, 90, 100 plus, because Alabama's got the same potent offense like Kentucky. Maybe not as great, but you don't necessarily feel that Alabama's going to go into Coleman Coliseum and get their butts kicked.
I don't think they're going to go in and get their butts kicked. I think we look at the big picture when it comes to the season. I think players, when they throw that ball up, all they're thinking about is playing a basketball game. I don't think they're thinking about what happened last week. I don't even think they're thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow. They're kids. And in that moment right there, they're just out there doing what they love to do the most.
And I don't know how they view the brand of Alabama versus Kentucky. We know Kentucky's a blue blood brand, but right now in today's world, I mean, forget about 30 or 40 or 50 years of tradition. Alabama's as big a brand in college basketball in the SEC as Kentucky is right now.
Game day was just there.
I don't know, you know, for the mind of a 20 or 21-year-old, how they equate what they played against last week at Kentucky versus this week at Bama. But, Chuck, I don't see a lot of difference in the quality of the programs. They're both top-notch.
Well, they are top-notch. They've got top-notch basketball teams. But I will say that playing at Kentucky is a different deal. I mean, it's a different deal. It's a whole different level than playing at Coleman Coliseum. It's night and day. Now, when the basketball game starts, you've got 2 very similar type teams.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of the event, the magnitude of the day, the atmosphere, Alabama's not even close to Kentucky in basketball. I mean, not even close. So it'll be a little bit different. Plus, it's at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you were in a game this Saturday. The only time I've ever been to Rupp Arena is when it was the Archie Goodwin team, the team that lost to Robert Morris in the NIT, and they lost to Baylor that day when I went with my dad. So I haven't seen the full atmosphere of Rupp Arena before. And I don't know if you could compare what happened on Saturday to the 90s necessarily, because both teams, I mean, Kentucky's got a good team, but Arkansas hasn't lived up to their end of the bargain this year. But that is a trip that I think a lot of Arkansas fans, if they can at some point, should make, especially when Arkansas is a good team. This year, again, you competed. You just don't necessarily have that team that you're used to under Eric Musselman at this point. But based on what you've said, it sounds like a bucket list trip that is definitely worth the price of admission.
Rupp Arena is a downtown arena. When you walk in, it's just a big place that's empty.
It's like a mall, right?
It's kind of like if you've been to Atlanta, the old CNN Center, the Carter Center, when you just kind of walk, from building to building. It's sort of like that. The people make the building. I don't care where you are. The fans make the building, and they flock to that place. It's an event. I respect them. They do it like we used to do it. Every home game's like when we used to play at the Southwest Conference Tournament in Barnhill. When they have the SEC tournament here in a week or so in Nashville, it's going to be like Rupp South.
Yeah.
And we can talk about, every fan base talks about how good they are, and we're better than most when it comes to basketball. But Kentucky, again, we used to be like that, but we're not anymore.
I thought it was interesting, before we take Brent Stuckhart's call, I heard this, and I don't know if this intel was passed to you, but Kentucky stayed in a hotel. And apparently that's not typical for them on Friday nights before home games. But Cal wanted to try and refocus his team just to make sure that they knew that Arkansas was going to come in and give them everything they got, but they did. But I just thought that was an interesting piece of information that Cal seemed to know that this was not going to be an easy contest.
They called it a trap game early in the week. Called it a trap game. Now I don't know where they stay. There's a Hyatt right. It's actually literally attached to that center where Rupp is, and then there's a Hilton across the street. I don't know. I don't know where they stay. I didn't know that. Some teams do that from time to time.
But it wasn't the Travel Lodge around the corner?
I doubt it.
Okay. No. All right, let's talk to Brent, who's in Stuttgart this morning on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Brent, welcome in.
Hey, Chad, this is Brent. This is the mouse, Brent, and Thursday. You know a move?
Oh, my bad, buddy. Sorry, I'm used to riding Stuttgart now.
Oh, hey, this is a What's Your Beef Monday, right?
Well, it's not. It's hot take Monday. What's your hot take?
My hot take is this women's basketball team is ferociously awful to watch. I mean, the last month they had at least our men in Kentucky. They gave it all they got. Our ladies, they give us nothing, zero, nothing. And if I'm Hunter Yurchek, I fire Mike Neighbors right now and send our team to the tournament coachless, because that's what he is, coachless. And we deserve better at the University of Arkansas. At least our men's basketball team is playing hard. We deserve better. And Chuck, I thoroughly enjoyed your call with Bubba on the radio yesterday. I'm glad you're going to be doing the call Tuesday, because Phil's going to be at the SEC tournament, which is a total waste of time to send somebody to broadcast that. Talk to you later. Have a great day.
Brent,
Thanks, Brent. So they only have, and Phil will be able to help. Obviously, help this along better since he's the voice. But they only have 8 available players right now due to injuries. Women's basketball team. I'd be lying if I haven't. I know they lost 87-43, and that's the extent.
Did you guys know I did the play-by-play on one of those games about a week and a half ago? Did you guys know that?
Yes, I do.
I thought it went totally unnoticed. Somebody asked me about it the other day. I said, I doubt they even noticed, to be honest with you.
Actually,
Talia Scott leaving the team's hurt them. That's hurt them. They just don't have enough. They don't have enough people to score.
Yeah. Hey, talking about conference tournaments coming up, whether it's the women's this week or next week, the men in Nashville, Oaklawn Sports is the best sports betting app in Arkansas. Brought to you by the brand you trust in Oaklawn. They've got new funding options available, whether it's withdrawal or deposit. You can use your MasterCard and Visa debit. You can use credit cards, PayPal, ACH right into your account and out back to your checking account, and on-site cash at the Oaklawn Sportsbook there in Hot Springs. Sign up today and get first bet insurance up to $250. And don't miss all the options with each sport, from the spread to the total to player props and more. Hey, bet with a brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas. Get it today. It's Oaklawn Sports.
All right, when we return, we've got to really talk baseball this morning. Chuck was on call of the game yesterday. Molina had a solid performance. Really all your starting pitchers did this week. And we'll react to what we saw in Bob Walker next.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got puppies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jones Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jones Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got puppies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered.
Talk about it in this hour, but I do want to start with this baseball team that got a sweep over the weekend against the Murray State Racers. Chuck was on call yesterday and is with us this morning. Mason Melita had a solid show, and we're going to hear from Dave on his transfer picture and also, again, talk more about this baseball and what happened this weekend in Baum-Walker Stadium. And got UCA on Tuesday as well, Tommy.
That's Hot Take Monday here on the Morning Rush. Give us your hot takes on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Call or text 877-377-6963. We're brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. It's spring camping season. Brinkley, Grand Design, Forest River. You'll find the best brands at Wheels, and they all come with a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. So stop in and see Lee J. Chris and the team at Wheels RV. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
Mason Molina was hot on Sunday.
The pitch is on the way, and that's a called strike three. Threw him a breaking ball, 7 strikeouts for Mason Molina, and he retires Murray State in order.
And Dave even said after the game, he's like, it wasn't even his best stuff. Had good stuff, but not even his best so far this year.
He had a really good couple of days, and Molina did a nice job giving us the opportunity early to stay in the game and get the lead after, we finally scored there in the third, I think. Maybe walked 1, struck out 9 or 10, and he had good stuff. He didn't have his best stuff.
What's crazy this weekend, all 3 of your starting pitchers finished with double-digit strikeouts. That's all Mason showed. If Hogbeat had this stat. Last 8 games for your starters, guys, ERA combined .69 for your starting pitchers, Chuck. They have been really, really good so far this year.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun to watch him yesterday. I'll be honest. Yesterday was really the first time I watched him from start to finish. Just haven't had a chance to with basketball, so I've not seen as much. I'll echo what Dave said there a minute ago. I don't think Molina had the type day that you just are wowed by what he did. But then you look at the stat line, and the most important lines, he only gave up 1 run in 5 innings, and the strikeouts are good too. And it's a good team. I mean, it's they got a lot of weapons. They got to figure some things out offensively, but I'm going to tell you, they got a lot of candidates, and they have some big kids over there, big, strong kids, and they're going to be okay.
Yeah, and Nolan Souza was in the lineup at second base.
6'3", 220.
Yeah, I mean, here's a kid.
Like a tight end. He's like a tight end.
Scores a run on 2 hits and 4 at-bats yesterday. I mean, here's a guy that's in the lineup that's, that's the thing. You give someone a chance and then make their case. And, I mean, it's just, I hate to compare it to Alabama football and Saban's era that we've just come out of, but it's kind of like you take one 5-star stud out and you put another 5-star stud in. It's kind of like, that's what Arkansas can do right now with their roster.
Yeah, Jason Jones had a good day too, but Souza even really got things going on Saturday as well.
The 1-2 to Souza. Swung on and shot up the middle. Base hit to center for Souza. Score Sprague-Lott. Here's Lovich around third. He's on the way home, and the throw cut off at the pitcher's mound.
And that really got things going in that game, and you mentioned his performance yesterday.
3 RBIs yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So encouraging to see some guys. They, like you said, offensively, they're not where they want to be just yet, and they're going to have to improve because you can't just win with pitching in SEC play based on some of the bats. But you've got to be encouraged not just with your starting pitching, but guys like Gackle and Frank on Friday. McIntyre, you know what you have with him. Got a good bullpen performances as well.
Well, and here's the thing that I think we have to keep in mind. Arkansas is not the only team in the SEC with great pitching. Not the only team in the SEC with strikeout totals similar to what the Razorbacks have. Look at the SEC stats when they come out later today. There are other great pitching staffs out there, and Arkansas is going to have to find a way to score runs. I'm not as concerned about the home runs. All their home run totals are half of what they were at this time a year ago. That doesn't concern me. What you've got to do sometimes is manufacture runs. And what I saw when I look at the numbers and having been at the ballpark yesterday and felt how hard the wind was blowing, this was not a weekend where you were going to go out there and hit home run after home run. It just was not going to happen.
I heard Dave mention on the press conference, Aloy had like a fly ball that would have gone out like most days, and the wind just completely pulled it back in. Yeah. And there was a few just during the course of that game that you felt like would have been gone, and they just Fayetteville win and Bob Walker sometimes.
Well, I can tell you, if it was blowing as hard at the ballpark as it was at the golf course, you can see why some balls didn't leave the yard.
Yeah, it was a brutal day in terms of wind.
Well, I was curious about Hagen Smith and if he would follow up his past performance. He didn't have 17 strikeouts, but he finished with 12, guys. I mean, this kid is just feeling it right now. And, again, you have such a luxury where you've got Tigert, who's a Friday night starter almost anywhere else in the country. Molina's probably a Friday or Saturday night guy, not just anywhere else in the country, but in the SEC too. You just don't have that in college baseball a lot of times. So Smith, again, really performed well. Curious if he would have a letdown. Did not have a letdown outside of that leadoff home run, and then really just locked in at that point.
I don't think you're going to see a Hagen Smith have what we would call letdowns. Baseball's not an emotional sport like that. Pitching's not an emotional job like that. When you look at his skill set and the way he carries himself out there on the mound, his mental makeup's a big part of it.
Yeah. The guy we're maybe talking about, though, that gets you to Omaha, maybe Will McIntyre. He went 5 2/3, 7 strikeouts. He's the guy that can help you in multiple games over a weekend, Chuck. I understand the starting pitching and how impressive it's been, Chuck, but Will McIntyre may be the secret weapon that's not so secret for this pitching staff.
Well, he's going to get plenty of work, that's for sure. And once we get into conference play and once the weather warms and once we really get into the heart of baseball season, I think we'll begin to see more of a pattern, in terms of what they're going to do on the back end of that bullpen. I think that's the part right now when, just from the outside looking in, I would wonder if they've got that settled. That Faherty kid, when I watched him pitch at that tournament down there in Texas and he got that save, I'm going to tell you, man, his stuff was electric. It popped through the television screen. I can only imagine what it was like there. I mean, that was electric stuff. And then the next time out, he lays an egg. And he was warming up yesterday. Dave's kind of taking this position. He said before the game, he said, listen, if you're pitching well out there, we're not going to go to our said closer just to say, hey, we're going to our closer. If you got it going, we're going to keep you in there. We saw that with McIntyre yesterday. They had a righty and a lefty ready to go. Two people that are going to compete to be the closer, if you want to fix that title to it. But McIntyre was pitching well, so they just stuck with him.
Yeah. I think he's going to be a critical weapon for this team. All right, brought to you by the Fence Man. Made our Fence Man Friday picks on Friday. And if you are looking for a company that you can trust when it comes to fences, gates, powered automatic gates, they can help you with the Fence Man. 782-3936 is their number. Call now and get your free estimate from Sean and his team. They'll come out, take a look at your project. Custom work, unique setups, don't bother them at all. They got a great welding shop for anything with ornamental iron, a custom wrought iron. They can do that as well. 782-3936, 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
All right, when we come back, we'll get into our Morning Rush Daily Question. Got some college football news to get to as well on a Hot Take Monday.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guns.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
The Razorbacks have won it.
Are you looking for a change of scenery? Lavorne Lumber is looking to hire a Class A CDL flatbed driver for a regional position. Lavorne Lumber is highly competitive in pay. Lavorne Lumber is a family-owned lumber and trucking company. Home most nights and every single weekend. Guaranteed. Lavorne Lumber has top-of-the-line equipment. If you're interested in the job, stop by Lavorne Lumber at 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, Monday through Friday from 9 to 4.
We're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. Sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Elect Judge Sam Terry to Fort Smith District Court on March 5th. Trusted, experienced, and fair, Terry is a former prosecutor and experienced attorney. Judge Terry has been appointed an Arkansas Supreme Court Special Associate Justice and shows his community commitment through numerous volunteer efforts. Vote Judge Sam Terry for Fort Smith District Court Judge on March 5th. The right experience and the right integrity. Early voting begins February 20th. Paid for by the Committee to Elect Sam Terry.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
You know, we don't mention the marching band enough on this program and the impact that they have during the course of a Razorback football and basketball game. But it's Marching Music Day. I never, growing up, learned how to play any instrument. That's probably one of the things I wish that my parents would have made me do in high school outside of just taking an hour of math homework each day or summer math homework. But guys, if you had an opportunity,
you did math in the summer.
Yeah, my dad made me do this stupid math stuff, and when I was in elementary and middle school, that was before
My
I could
dad's
go
deal
out.
with spelling words. I had to do spelling words. Anyway,
Probably should
carry
learn how
on.
to do that too. It's marching music day. If given the choice that you could play one instrument, what would it be? Mine would be playing the piano or guitar, which I know are both not in the marching band per se. But if I had a choice, if I had the opportunity, and I guess I still could at 29 years old learn how to do it, but I would love to know how to play the piano or guitar.
So why don't you?
Busy at work, man. Too much stuff going on.
It would be the guitar or the piano for me as well, because and I think the reasoning for your wanting to learn the guitar or the piano is it brings the ladies in. It's like moths to a flame. You can sit down at the keyboard or start strumming on the guitar. You know, you're gonna draw a crowd.
Yeah, I like 2.5 Men and Charlie Sheen's ability to play the piano. I thought was.
You think
really
he can
cool.
actually play the piano, Chuck, or do you think that's
I don't think
in?
he was playing the piano on the show.
No, I don't. I don't either.
I don't think so.
But I'd say piano first, guitar for me second as well. Saxophone would have to be somewhere in there.
B wants to
Lead
learn
guitar, baby.
Yeah.
Lead guitar. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
B in Clarksville wants to know how to play the bagpipes. I had my friend's girlfriend knows how to play the saxophone, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
He just pulled out a saxophone from his room and is like, "Hey, she can play this," and she did. I was like, "Whoa, that's kind of cool."
No girl's ever said, "Hey, I'm dating the tuba player." You know tuba would not be up there. Trombone would not be up there. You know,
but guitar would be up there. The lead guitar, not just the guitar.
I mean,
Chuck,
you just
the lead
you
guitar.
can just stroll into the lobby hotel or whatever, or somewhere there's just sit down and start banging one out on the piano. That's going to get a crowd around. Kind of like
when I was a
kinda like
very
Top
young
Gun,
man, a young child, my mother, when you're a young boy, you're made to take piano lessons. You don't get to take piano lessons. You're made to take them. I was made to take them. And as soon as I was allowed to quit, I quit. Probably 9 or 10 years old, maybe 11. I really regret that. When you're 11 years old and you're a boy, you're not supposed to take piano lessons in your mind. But I wish I'd stayed with it.
Yeah, it's a regret of mine is not learning to play an instrument. My dad always said, "You'll regret it someday because it's a skill you'll be able to have the rest of your life." He was right. I was wrong.
Funny how that we look back on when our father or mother told us something when we were kids and we thought they were idiots, and turns out they were actually.
But now let me tell you this: I can sit down and with a first grade level piano book, I can still read music and play a little tune. It's just from a child's book. So you're not exactly going to reel very many people in by playing, something from a first grader's piano book.
So you're not going to be performing with the Northwest Arkansas
I'm no
Symphony?
Billy Joel.
You're not going to be
I'm no
sitting down
Billy
with
Joel.
it. You're not going to be on display at the symphony anytime soon.
No,
At the Walt
I
Martin
can't
Center?
walk into a hotel lobby and sit down at the piano and wow everybody.
Tyler said he grew up playing the violin. It's too small for him now, but he can still play it.
Now,
Bradford.
in some parts, that's the fiddle.
Okay. Bradford says the drums. Playing the drums would always be cool. I always like to bang on the drums, my friend's drum set or something, but I never.
But you can't sit down and go solo on the drums and impress
Step
many
Brothers.
for long.
You're like the guy in Step Brothers.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Brandon in Paris says his daughter's been in the band, so he takes her to practices and concerts. You can learn a thing or two by just going to that. At that point, it's one thing to actually watch. It's another thing to do at this point. But
you'd be more of a cymbals man. I think you'd be good with the cymbals.
The triangle, hit it every once in a while. But our marching band is not get enough of a shout out, and really they don't give their credit across high schools and colleges. So I wanted to make sure that they get some credit this morning.
I will tell you in Fayetteville, many times in August, if you're up early, as we are, in the distance you can hear the Razorback Marching Band practicing. And if it's not them, it's one of the high school bands. And they have 2-a-days too. Sometimes they have 3-a-days.
Yeah.
And, they put a lot into it.
I can tell you this, my game day at Reynolds Razorback Stadium is never complete unless I've watched the Block A march from south to north.
It's when you know it's game time, baby.
I'm going to tell you, I don't know what it is about that piece of pomp and circumstance, but I've got to
when
be
they
in my
make
seat
that
to see
turn,
if
you've been around, man, you feel that. You're right.
I mean, that's just part of it. When they march south to north and playing, that's just, I can't live without that on a game day.
And I think the majority of us listening can kind of pick out a college and we can at least hum the tune of their marching band or that fight song. We may hate it. Like I know you hate the Oklahoma fight song, but you know it. It's ingrained in your head. Notre Dame's fight song. There's some others in college football that are really popular because they're national brands and national sports, and it's stuck with you all these years. Some you like. Some you hate the team, but you actually like the marching part. Others you hate the sound and you hate the team, but it definitely sticks with you. It's not just here in Fayetteville, the Arkansas one, but it's really a college's.
It's part of it.
Yeah,
it's part of it. It's part of the pageantry of college sports.
Yep. All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Question. It's brought to you by Red River Dodge in Heber Springs. They are Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. Schedule your service appointment today at gopascal.com.
I feel bad for Michael in Cape Springs. His high school's fight song was the Texas fight song. I would guess.
Eyes of Texas?
He did not elaborate. I don't know if he went to high school somewhere in Texas, but that is what he had to deal with, evidently. Going to high school at this point. Well, speaking of college football, Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports had this kind of late last weekend that college football leaders are expected to finalize a recommendation for player-to-coach helmet communication system. Now, there's 2-minute warning, tablets on the sideline at locker room. That looks like it's going to happen. But, guys, it looks like it's trending in that direction. I think it's good for Arkansas. Bobby Petrino, who, of course, is a quarterback guru, and to be able to communicate with either Talon Green or Jacoby Criswell, which, by the way, according to Brandon Marcello in his conversation with Sam Pittman, apparently Arkansas is going to name a quarterback at the end of spring practice. I was reading that. So that was kind of interesting. Had that at 247 Sports. But, guys, I think this is a benefit for Arkansas specifically. I think there's some coaches you don't necessarily rattling around in your QB's headset, but I would think your OC, that would be a guy you do want to be able to communicate if this comes down the pipeline.
But it's not like he's talking to you in the middle of the play.
Yeah.
I mean, they're communicating the play call.
It cuts off at a certain time.
Yeah. And the NFL ones do, and I don't know what the rules will be in college, but I'll tell you what it eliminates. It eliminates lime green coaches' shirts, chartreuse, all those signs with McDonald's French fries and the arch of St. Louis or whatever, all these
pageantry,
pictures, all these numbers and signals, and there's about 4 people on the sideline that's going to lose their jobs, guys.
Well, it's just the advancement of technology. I mean, look, they've been doing this in the NFL for a while. It did not dramatically change the game.
Nope.
It added a new dimension to the game, but it did not change the game. And this will add a new dimension to college football, and people will talk about it as though it is revolutionary, but it is good. I mean, it is good, and I'm glad they're doing it.
Yeah, and it'll, I think, get your quarterbacks more pro ready. I mean, when you get ready for the combine, like we just finished, that's one. I mean, because that you think, well, that's not a big deal to just listen. Well, I'm going to tell you how you communicate is a big deal, and having that skill at least practiced a little more will be a big benefit for not only the quarterbacks, but also a linebacker or whoever's tabbed with that duty on defense.
The onus is on the coach to make this work. It's not on the player. Now, the player's got to be part of it, but the onus, in my opinion, is on the coach. They've got to have the temperament. They've got to have the ability to, as they all do already, to think in a very, very short amount of time. But sometimes you don't want a player just overloaded with information.
That's
because
true.
Sometimes, I'm not saying, and I realize that sounds odd when you say, you think, well, you want as much information as you can get. Sure you do. But you don't want to be to the point where nothing makes sense because there's so much swimming around up there. And so I do think the onus is on the coach more than the player to make this work.
Well, but just think, how much time do they spend during the course of a season or a week practicing and working on the signals? All right, when I scratch my elbow, that's what this means. When I touch my nose, I mean, I know it's more involved than that, but there's a lot of that has to go on. Now you don't have to worry about learning any of that.
We had
that's happened in all sports. They wear watches in baseball now, where they pick up the signs. I mean, that this is just a technological advancement, and it changes the way you call or manage the game. But everyone will grow accustomed to it really quickly, I'm sure.
And catchers having it in college baseball, kind of like you're talking about.
Well,
Chuck.
the fan won't notice the difference.
Here's the other, and Brian in Hot Springs brought this up in hour number 1 because Michael and Fort Smith points it out on the McLarty Daniel hotline. I wonder how much of this sign stealing stuff from Michigan, I would think this had a pretty big impact of pushing this. Because I think coaches always assumed this was going on, but when you had as blatant of documented examples as Michigan did with this situation, I think this got it done. This was the final straw that broke the camel's back.
You're right.
Money was evidently an issue of why this hasn't happened previously, like not enough, or them for certain schools that couldn't afford it, however much. We were speculating earlier how much it was. This was the final thing. Harbaugh's thing, that and Stallions, I think that pushed it over the top.
Had a lot to do with it. But now look, coaches have been stealing signs for years.
Yeah.
And let's not sit here and act like our coaches aren't trying to get the other team's signs, because they are. And they're trying to get ours in every game. Yesterday, for example, in that baseball game, in both dugouts, there's at least one person, one player, who's really good at sign stealing. But now because of the Dick Tracy watches that they're wearing, maybe that's not as valuable a spot anymore. I don't know. But I do know sign stealing has been part of the game forever. And I think what did this, what pushed it over the top, if you want to use that term, is these guys are fine with doing it on the field. They're fine if you study film enough and you figure out their signals. They're fine with that. It's their job to keep you from doing it. It's when you got some slappy buying plane tickets and sitting in the stands and it's just gone to a level now where something's got to be done.
Yeah. Speaking of sitting in the stands, that's the other winners. When they raise that curtain up to block the view from the press box, and then they block your view from the stands, temporarily while they're signaling in the plays. They won't have to do that anymore.
It's like you remember how NFL teams were in uproar on Monday Night Football with the Booger, and when he was on the television card or whatever, going back and forth. Well, you won't have as many things distracting you from the view in that situation. The other big college football story when it comes, I don't think the tablets and the 2-minute warnings are as big of a deal outside of getting another timeout, getting some more television revenue, some more sponsors. But how about this idea of 3 signing periods, one in June, from Pete Thamel of ESPN.com, that this would happen where you could sign before your senior season of high school football, which we've advocated for. Didn't think would actually happen. Hasn't currently been signed into effect just yet. But I think I think there's a lot more good than bad that can come out of this to this point, guys.
I don't think there are going to be 3 signing periods. Nor do I think there should be.
So I
don't think there should be 3 signing periods.
I just like the idea of a young man having the opportunity to not worry about where he's going to school, where he's going to end up. He can sign that document and be set and play his senior season without that distraction. Because those that have gone through the recruiting process, parents would tell you, family would tell you, it is a distraction when you're still getting letters, still getting stuff. Once you sign, it's not completely done, but it's basically done at that point.
Hey, let me tell you something. In the modern era, Ty, if you're a player and you sign a letter of intent with NIL out there before you play your senior season, you're not very smart. You're selling yourself short. You're not betting on yourself, because as this climate changes every day, and the essence of the transfer portal, and the NIL and all this stuff is from a player's perspective, they view it as betting on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're cheating yourself if you, in the NIL world, just to be blunt, if you sign a letter of intent with 12 months still out there, you're taking door number 1 and not even giving doors number 2 and 3 a shot. And to me, 3 signing periods is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. We did fine with 1 for a long, long time.
But how many portal periods do we have?
Pardon me?
How many portal periods are there? There's one in December. There's another one after spring practice. Isn't there a third one?
I think what this does is those fringe kids that have been hurt with the transfer portal, this gives them a better opportunity if they're locked in than rather be in a last-second situation or something like that. If you know where you want to go to school and you're not one of those blue blood 4 or 5-star alphas that's going to get offered all over the place, this feels like it helps those kids out rather than hurts them in that situation. Because
there will not be 3 signing periods. I can tell you that. There will not be 3 signing periods. The coaches are against this, and if you're going to do it in the summer, you got to eliminate something else. You cannot have 3 signing periods. You can't turn this into just something where these staffs and these coaches, these universities can't sustain this type of recruiting operation. You just can't. And the idea that you're recruiting a kid in the middle of July, that's ridiculous. It's not fair to the kid. It's not fair to the coaches. It's not fair to anybody. We've turned this into, we've just gotten out of our minds on this. I don't think there's going to be 3 signing periods. I'll go on record as saying that.
So I wonder if they would, if you're correct, I wonder if they would take one away. Would they knock out, because the coaches don't seem to like the early signing period in December. I wonder if they would eliminate it where they do, so again, the traditional one that's been in February, I guess the first Wednesday, if I remember that right, and then this one, or it would be, based on this, again, this report from Thamel, it would still be 3 periods. It doesn't sound like they would
This is just a proposal, though. It's just a proposal. I don't think there's the idea that you're going to have February, December, summer recruiting signing periods. No way.
I think it's out of control already. I think we can all agree on that. I don't know how much more difficult. And again, you mentioned recruiting.
That's because you're not involved in it, Ty. I don't know how else to say it. From a fan's perspective, well, it's fine. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is making this actually work and be beneficial for both sides. You can't do this. You can't keep doing this.
So when do the coaches get a break? If you had a midsummer signing period, when they're getting ready for camp,
families get a break.
Exactly. When do assistant coaches, recruiting staff, head coaches get a break at all?
Kids being recruited, when do they get a break?
This would give them the break their entire senior season, basically.
Because you think that other schools are going to quit recruiting kids because they've signed.
I think once they sign their national letter of intent, the recruiting decreases dramatically. I think most would tell you that. Now, in today's day and age, maybe that's incorrect, but most coaches, commitment doesn't do crap nowadays. Just because you commit somewhere, that doesn't detract a coach from recruiting you at all from imposing. Once you sign that national letter of intent, though, it's pretty much eliminated. Now, again, we live in a different world than we did in 2002, but it's different once you put pen to paper at this point.
I think what you're talking about is great in theory, Ty, but I don't think it's practical. I don't think I don't think it can be properly administered. I think mistakes will be made all the way around, and I think we'll be talking about it if it happens, and I don't think it will. But if it happens, I think 24 months from now, we'll be talking about what a bad move it was, just like they're talking about what a bad move this December signing period was. It was fine in February for decades. That's what they need to do again. Hey, it's going to start warming up this week. We'll pause for a word for Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. I was looking at the forecast. It's coming, but there are still some cold nights too. And I doubt very seriously if we're done with the cold nights. Right now, you want to make sure it's all working. And when you when you partner with Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric, that's what you get. You get the peace of mind of knowing that, hey, if it's 80 degrees today and I got to break down and turn on the AC, it's ready to roll. But if it's going to get down to 20 tonight and I got to turn the heater back on, that's going to be working too. They're going to work together at the same time, and everything's going to be okay. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric does give you that peace of mind. And with summer coming, it might be time for a good AC tune-up. You can schedule your appointment at gopascal.com. This is an Arkansas company. They're Arkansas-owned, professional people, professional service. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric.
Chuck, another thing on the list of these changes is a 2-minute warning in college football. What do you think about adding another stop and play late in the game?
Well, I don't know. Basically what it is it's a timeout. And if we watch the NFL, the 2-minute warning becomes part of your timeout strategy. I think it would change the strategy. I mean, it's the only reason there's really a 2-minute warning now, so they play another batch of commercials.
Right.
And this gives them an opportunity to do that. I can't say that I'm for it necessarily, but I don't have a strong feeling either way.
I hate it. It's just making the games longer.
Well,
what have we talked about with college baseball? What have we talked about with basketball? What have we talked about with football? It's condensing the games. All this is going to do is make it longer. It's going to make it harder to box in TV windows to get in the college football games. You're going to be more and more frustrated at the fact that you're supposed to be playing at 3 o'clock or 2:30.
That's
the game's
fair.
Still going.
Yeah.
That's, again.
That was going to be my point.
That's fair.
This is disaster.
I think the 2-minute warning should only, and this is why they'll never do this because TV wants to be able to count on it. They should only institute it if the game is 14 points or less.
Well, good luck convincing TV executives.
No, what I'm saying is not realistic and won't happen.
You're
but
right.
It's practical because, no one wants to watch a 35-point game and a non-conference game go to a 2-minute warning on the game in front of you, delaying the start of your televised team or your team's televised broadcast, and now you're scrambling for a tablet or trying to figure out how to get your Roku to work or whatever, only to have to switch it back to the to the regular deal. It is a pain.
Yes, you're right, and it will make games longer, and you're right about that. Both of you are right about that television window. But now part of this is it's the network's fault for trying to cram games in there.
Mm-hmm.
You could, they want to play at 11 and 2. You could, they want to have that 3-hour window in there. You could have a 3.5-hour window, and you could still get it all in. So part of this is their fault.
They're trying to figure out how to get 4 games in a day on one network, and it's impossible to do. So they might as well spread it out.
Start early like we've.
Well, I mean, who wants to have?
That's why you've got games starting at 8 o'clock at night. I mean, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. So there's only so much television landscape. In basketball, you can do it because of the length of the game, but there's also some rules and replay things that change late in the game. But that could all be accomplished with or without. They're doing it now without a 2-minute.
Well,
warning.
basketball's out of hand. When you've got games in the Eastern Time Zone starting at 10 minutes after 9 o'clock, you're out of hand.
Yeah. Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Always the best brands and always a lifetime warranty on those brands from a great group of people you can trust at Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV. 2 basketball games this week for the Hogs. They'll play LSU. They'll play Alabama, and that will be the close of the regular season. You can hear those games right here on ESPN. Arkansas and baseball against UCA coming up tomorrow afternoon. You can hear it on most of these stations. Hey, we're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. Man, was it a picture-perfect, weather-perfect weekend across the Ozarks. And if you're looking for a great place to kick back and unwind, take your family for spring break, or maybe you're planning a birthday or an anniversary trip, or maybe it's a business trip. Hey, I'm looking for something new and different to do to entertain some key clients or key employees or whatever works for your work situation. Gaston's is the place to do it. 80 private cabins and lodges. They have a big conference center if you want to have a bigger group there, a great restaurant for breakfast, lunch, and dinner that overlooks the White River, and a team of expert guides to make sure you have a first-class time every time. 870-431-5202 is the number. Give them a call at Gaston's White River Resort. Again, a first-class time every time.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crap. Straight games, 34 points, goes 8 of 16, 17 of 18 from the three-point line. Again, was absolutely fantastic.
Pick and roll Mitchell, left side, battles open, three-pointer good. The assist from Mitchell ties the game at 72 with 12 minutes to play.
What's been impressive about him, Chuck, is he came in more of this as a shooter, and he really hasn't shot the ball that great in terms of the three-point shooting for the majority of the year, but guy just knows how to draw fouls. Drew 9 on Saturday against the Wildcats.
Well, he's a scorer, is what he is. I have never thought Battle was, a guy that, when he started, when he was on a run, he can fill it up, but more than anything, he's a scorer. And I'm going to be honest. I expected Battle to be the leading scorer on this team by a pretty wide margin back in November. I'm not sure what's happened. I'm glad he's playing well right now. And, there's nothing wrong with just living in the moment and, riding this thing from his personal standpoint as far as you can go. But, yeah, he can score. And that's his knack. When he goes to the right, when he drives down the lane to his right, he can absorb that contact and get that shot away off the glass. It's almost like a patented move, and he's really good at that.
He's really improved in that area, especially the last 4 or 5 games, continually again in attack mode for this Arkansas basketball team. Baseball team won all 3 games this weekend in Murray State. Hagan got him started on Friday night.
Pitch on the way, struck him out swinging. They can't handle that slider here in the second inning. Hagan Smith strikes out the side in order.
So he gets off that leadoff home run, and then guys, again, struck out 12 over the next 6 innings. So really outstanding performance. Him, Molina, Tiger really all had good outings this weekend, and just keep talking about Arkansas starting pitching. If they keep doing what they're doing, that's going to be the majority of the topics when it comes to this baseball team.
The competition's going to get a lot better, and that's going to happen here in a couple of weeks. So, I would expect the strikeout numbers to go down. What I'm most concerned about is the number in that runs column. That's the most important thing. Strikeouts are kind of like home runs. They attract a lot of attention, and they exude dominance. When you hit a home run or you strike somebody out, you dominate someone, and we like that. But the biggest stat when you get into these league games is under that letter R. So I think they'll be fine. I like their pitching staff. I like the fact that they seem set on their starters. Molina is certainly a better than average Sunday starter. I saw him yesterday. Everyone's going to have a great starter on Friday night. Smith is going to be better than most. Tigert, Molina, McIntyre, those guys may be the heart of the pitching staff, so to speak. And they got to figure out who that closer is going to be. But they got a lot of candidates for sure.
Central Arkansas at 3 o'clock first pitch tomorrow. Then McNeese State Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. First pitch on Fridays at 3, 2 o'clock on Saturday, and 1 o'clock on Sunday, much like this past weekend, or exactly like this past weekend. So that's the setup for this week as Arkansas continues a lengthy homestand here in March.
And you mentioned those runs, Chuck. Tommy, I know you were impressed with Nolan Souza, who had quite a Saturday and Sunday. Here was Dave on one of the younger players. What's he, 6'3", 230, Chuck? Is that his measurables?
I think, Switty. Yeah, 220, I think.
Well, quite a 2 games for him.
One of their best pitchers, at least statistically coming into today. We felt like he was the guy they were going to bring him out of the pen when they felt like they had a chance to win the game. And I guess their plan was, if it was still tied, he was coming in. And That was the biggest hit of the game, obviously. He hit it hard right back through the middle, didn't try to do too much. Just really good to see because he's very physical for his age, and he can really run, and he's got a lot of power. So he's a guy that if you're a scout, you're saying, hey, you got a lot of tools. Well, sometimes the guys with tools, they still got to learn how to play baseball, and he's doing a really good job. He slowed the game down a little bit in his head, and the moment wasn't too big for him. I was really glad to see that.
I think the cool thing about non-conference games early on is you do get a chance to see the future for Arkansas baseball, and Souza seems to be a guy might not play a ton this season, but maybe in the coming years has more of an impact. Pitchers, it just kind of varies. Like we saw Hagan and Brady Tiger have immediate impact when they got to campus. Saw a little bit of Kendall Diggs, who's taken a more prominent role these last 2 years, but that's one of the things I like about non-conference baseball. It's just kind of that early look at some of the guys in the future.
Yeah, and I mentioned McNeese State this weekend. It's the final weekend before conference play begins. So, I won't say final tune-up. They still have Oral Roberts a week from tomorrow. But, Chuck, conference plays quickly approaching for this baseball team.
Yeah, and I mean, that's, it happens fast. I mean, it gets here in a hurry. So you're, again, they're still trying to figure a few things out. The idea that you're going to figure it all out before SEC play begins, nobody does that. You figure things out as you go, and trends develop, and you make decisions about players and spots. And some of these things that they've got to iron out, though, it's going to be a work in progress even, toward the back half of the season maybe. But the good thing for them is, man, they got a lot of candidates. When one guy falls off, which is going to happen in a long season, the guy that they plug in, a lot of schools were after him too. So the talent pool is pretty deep.
No question. Softball-wise this weekend, Arkansas won, I think, 4. They beat Southeastern Missouri State, Florida Atlantic on Friday, lost to South Dakota State on Saturday, and they beat SEMO again on Sunday thanks to a Reagan Johnson walk-off sacrifice fly. Women's basketball team, unfortunately, did not have a good showing, lost to Ole Miss 87-43, and then congrats to the Arkansas gymnastics program who scored a program record high of 197.65 in their last regular season meet on the road against the top 20 Missouri squad. They welcome in the defending back-to-back national champion this Sunday at 4 o'clock on the SEC Network. I would think there's probably going to be a decent chunk of people that are in Barnhill this weekend for that.
I would think so. And then they got a regional coming up. So, it's that is probably as popular a non-marquee sport, not men's basketball, football, or baseball. I think when you look at attendance and look at the popularity, gymnastics may be next, guys.
Yep, it's done a good job to this point. All right, that is going to do it for your Hog Update, brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Chuck, tonight, the final episode of Eric Musselman Live going to be at Sassy's tonight, 7 o'clock to start, as he'll recap the Kentucky game and look forward to the last 2 games of the regular season.
Devo's going to be there tonight, too.
All right. So all that at Sassy's off the Weddington exit on Steamboat Drive. You can stop in happy hour from 3 to 6. Hey, when it comes to barbecue, catfish, burgers, and more, nobody does it better than Sassy's. Eat, drink, and be sassy.
All right, we still got more baseball and basketball to get into. I want to tell you about Barry Odom riding a bull this weekend in Vegas, which was quite entertaining. Also, an Oklahoma school is under some scrutiny right now for a toe-licking contest that raised money for charity. That's definitely an interesting story I want to share with you. In hour number 3, stay with us. It's the Morning Rush on a Hot Take Monday.
Warm up with hot preseason savings on your choice of New Holland equipment right now at WT Equipment. Get 0% financing for 60 months or a free loader on compacts. Choose 0% financing or cash back on mid-range tractors and on select hay tools. Or get up to $40,000 cash back on a new T7. No matter the job, hurry into WT Equipment today and shop their huge selection of in-stock inventory. Now is the best time to get a truckload of savings on the trusted quality and efficient power of New Holland equipment. Offer ends March 31st. Commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification at CNH Industrial Capital LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Whether you're fishing for cold water bass on Beaver Lake or Table Rock, or fishing for a trophy brown trout on the mighty White River, the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue will catch them. It has that famous rolling action whether it's fished extremely slow or worked fast in heavy current. This rogue suspends, so it will stay in the strike zone longer, allowing you to catch more fish. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. Sign up now for Pascal's Planned Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Elect Judge Sam Terry to Fort Smith District Court on March 5th. Trusted, experienced, and fair, Terry is a former prosecutor and experienced attorney. Judge Terry has been appointed an Arkansas Supreme Court Special Associate Justice and shows his community commitment through numerous volunteer efforts. Vote Judge Sam Terry for Fort Smith District Court Judge on March 5th. The right experience and the right integrity. Early voting begins February 20th. Paid for by the Committee to Elect Sam Terry.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is the reigning champion of my own conference, Robert.
You do realize that's not a thing.
Well, I did receive a plaque commemorating that accomplishment.
Yeah, and I was elected the president of Mars. Anyway, Hog fans, it's that time again.
It's baseball season. And Hog fans, the Stadium Shop has everything you need for Razorback baseball.
From t-shirts, sweatshirts, man cave stuff, and even a Razorback original, the Bases Loaded beer hats.
Plus, ladies, as well as a restocked women's section. We have the Bases Loaded beer stein boppers.
Yeah, it's kind of like those old-time space alien antennas, you know?
Yeah, well, not really.
So when you're in Fayetteville, stop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road, next door to Baum Walker Stadium, or you can shop us on them WW Interweb Facecram. You get it, Matthew.
Dad, do you mean the website?
Yeah.
Which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
As always,
go Hogs!
It's 2024. Let's go see what's new at the Golf Nut. Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke Woods and Irons. The world's first AI smart face designed using real player data. Cobra Dark Speed Woods and Irons. The fastest driver Cobra has ever built. Start the new year off with a lesson and feel more confident on the course. Contact Matt Brooks at 646-4430. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. And you've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Free Diamond Madness this March at the Diamond Center. During the month of March, Diamond Center is giving away a free live-grown diamond with the purchase of any natural earth-grown diamond, 1 carat or larger, or with the purchase of any qualifying in-stock setting. All you have to do is pick out the perfect engagement ring and we'll take care of the rest. All backed by our free lifetime warranty. This is a can't-miss opportunity. Don't miss out on free Diamond Madness the entire month of March, only at the Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly sunny sky. There's a very slight chance of seeing an isolated shower. A thunderstorm high today into the middle 70s. Better chance of showers and storms tonight. Overnight lows will drop down into the mid 50s. And then for Tuesday, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Chance of showers and storm highs in the 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Smith from the wind. He struck him out looking. Came with a fastball right at the top of the zone. 7 strikeouts for Smith and 2 down in the 4th inning.
1 second and it is over. There was some kind of up and down basketball game today. Arkansas gave Kentucky all they wanted, but the Wildcats hang on and win it by a final of 111 to 102. A shootout in Rupp Arena today. The home team comes out on top.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
So Arkansas played its best offensive game in the season in Lexington, Kentucky. Still lost after giving up 111 to the Wildcats, who shot 40-plus free throws, but you liked what you saw on that end of the floor from Arkansas. Eric Musselman was pleased with that. We will talk some basketball here coming up, but unfortunately lost a legend over the weekend. A longtime ESPN NFL reporter since 1991, Chris Mortensen, died at the age of 72 years old. Now, I knew he had stage 4 throat cancer, but the cause of death right now has not been reported. I'm assuming it has something to do with that, but in the articles I read, it didn't definitively come out and say that at this point.
Well, yes. I mean, he's been battling this for quite some time now. Mm-hmm. Yes,
but he had successful
several years
treatments. Yeah, I think it was 2016 if I remember that correctly.
Probably goes without saying.
Yeah, that's what
would be my guess.
Yeah, and obviously the tie is in Northwest Arkansas is he's lived here. His son Alex played football here. Learned the coaching trade. In part here.
Well, Alex is the OC at UAB, so we'll see him in September, I guess.
I forgot about that. They're coming here.
So, I mean, it and was always gracious with his time, and I know had made many connections to Northwest Arkansas. So sad to learn of his passing over the weekend. It is a Hot Take Monday. It is brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. They have added Brinkley Model Zs to the loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. You get a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. So stop in at Wheels and find out again why they've been voted best RV dealer. They've done it year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
So there's been a lot of people that have said glowing things about him. Adam Schefter, who, of course, is one of ESPN's most prominent voices, was very, very outspoken about Mortensen, saying he was one of the reasons that Schefter got hired was because of Mortensen, even though they were kind of perceived to be competition at the time. I got a chance to talk with him each and every week when I interned for Bo's show, and I called him. They would do a weekly segment back in the day. That was just kind of cool as a college kid getting to talk to Chris Mortensen every week. Guys, I've seen Peyton Manning. I've seen Peter Keene, who just recently retired. There's been so many people that have said glowing things about him. And whether it's reading from different producers and on-air talent, he just seemed to have the most sterling of the best reputations when it comes to just him working in the industry and his professionalism that he barely exuded every single day.
Well, it was fair. And I think that's probably what in that business is the most important thing to the players, to your bosses, to your audience. He was a pioneer in that he was the first to transition from being a writer exclusively to becoming a television personality. It was not the norm, frankly, to have even the most accomplished writers on television. There were a few. Dan DeFord, for example, back in the day, was so good that he would be on television some, but very few of them were. And Mort was one of the first ones to do that, and he did it very, very well, and was passionate about his job, passionate about being a professional. That was the thing that I think just being around him impressed me the most, was you could tell it was important to him to be a pro. It really was important to him to be fair, to be accurate, to present it well, to have the words right. Everything he did, you could tell it was important to him to be a pro, and I really respected that about him.
Yeah, Schefter was saying even this weekend that, again, he passed away this weekend, but he was texting Adam Schefter about Spencer Rattler's performance. So even this weekend, he's still trying to work in the midst of what's going on right now. And I'm listening to all these clips, listening to all these different people. Daniel Jeremiah, who works for the NFL Network, really had an emotional tribute when they announced really live that Chris Morton had passed away. Take a listen.
He's my mentor. He's one of my best friends. I've said it many times. I don't even talk about me. He's done everything for me. I've told that. I don't want to tell that story.
Sure.
I just want to look in the camera and tell Mickey, his wife, and Alex, his son, that every time I talk to Mort, you guys came up because he was so proud of you. He loves you so much. You're always in his heart. You're always on his mind. He's a sweet, sweet person with a sweet family, and that's who I'm thinking about right now.
And we're thinking about you and everybody else that got to know Chris Mortensen. Again, he's just one of the sweetest souls you will have ever met, and he loved this sport, and he loved being on top of it and getting you is interested in loving the sport as much as we obviously do, and I send my condolences.
No, he loved this game too. He texted me yesterday. He wanted to know how Rattler was going to do in the workout.
That's wild to me that as recent as the day before his passing, that is still wondering about that to this point. But you could tell, I mean, the impact that he had, you mentioned getting to know him locally, Chuck, but nationally. And he had also players, too, like Peyton Manning and others that just echoed really the same sentiment about this guy that I enjoyed seeing on SportsCenter. Like, I wasn't aware of his background until I did some research and stuff. You mentioned his place in NWA, where there's people in Northwest Arkansas that know him, but definitely just again immediately one of the biggest hires that ESPN has ever made was Chris Mortensen in 1991.
When you think about ESPN.com, their magazine, I mean, when the internet and websites were brand new, that was some of the content that helped get that going. So again, sad day in sports media, and it's not surprising the player reactions and the others in the media that have we just heard that emotional take there. I mean, you're going to hear more of those. In the next few days.
Will continue on. So again, that's the kind of the big national unfortunate news that we share with you this morning here on a Hot Take Monday. Not a lot of hot takes regarding Mortensen because he was, again, as professional as it gets. I did find it, as we segue from, again, the sad news about Mortensen, I did find it interesting. I kind of alluded to it last hour, that the conversation that Brandon Marcel has evidently had with Sam Mittman of 247 Sports, that Pittman's going to name a starting quarterback by the end of spring. Now, he's subject to change his mind, but we've talked about this quarterback battle. It's ongoing. We're going to get a chance to meet with Sam Pittman this week. Spring practice begins on Thursday, and we'll hear from him a couple times this week. But guys, I thought that they wouldn't probably figure this out till the fall, but according to Marcel, this is going to happen by the end of spring ball, which is not that far off.
A little surprised by that, but I don't know what the reasoning is. If it's to let the players know, or if this is something Coach Petrino wants to do. I'm sure Chucky's going to get asked about this, but a bit surprising to me he would name one so quick.
Well, and if this report's accurate, and I have no reason to believe it is or isn't, frankly, but if it's accurate, I'm not surprised by that. And I'm not going to argue with the move because they know their personnel better than anybody else. I'm sure Coach Petrino would like to be able to go through the summer working with a starting quarterback. I would also imagine, too, that what they are doing, just in terms of, what you're allowed to do right now, before spring practice. And I mean, the run up, what are we, like Thursday? Spring practice is basically here. In the run up to this, I'm sure there's been an incredible amount of preparation. Everything they've been allowed to do, I'm sure they've done. I'm sure there's been, video and things of that nature, being played daily, maybe all day. So I'm sure there's a good relationship there already, but I got no problem with that.
I don't have any problem. But if I ask you guys, hey, who's the leaders on the offensive side? Who are, you don't have a bevy of returning players that were key and instrumental last year coming back. It's kind of a limited list. So naming a starting quarterback, a starting quarterback's got to be one of your leaders and one of your captains.
Well,
so I think this helps in that perspective.
I think you're right. You've got to have somebody that's one of your leaders during the summer.
Right. That's where I was headed.
You're going to have. There's with what they're going to do offensively, I'm sure there's a lot of work that's going to have to be accomplished over the summer.
Player-led work. So.
And just speaking honestly, Criswell's been here. Criswell's been through the season. What was spring practice season? If Criswell's the guy, he'll win the job. And if he doesn't win the job in the spring, he's probably not the guy. So as just for and I'm from very much the outside looking in on this, but that would be my immediate reaction to all this, is that Criswell's been here. If he's a difference maker, if he's going to be a difference maker at that spot, he'll win the job in the spring. And if he doesn't, probably, time to look at somebody else.
So you've got 15 practices. The final one is the spring game, and sometimes that gets so much of pomp and circumstance and pageantry that it's not really so much a practice. You got 3 at the beginning without pads and all that stuff going on. Mm-hmm. In a really, when you get down to it, you've got what? 8 or 9 real practices. Can you really get to the meat of the matter and determine a starter at a lot of positions in effectively about 9 or 10 practices?
I evidently, like Chuck said kind of at the outset, they feel like they can do it. I was surprised.
Well, there are things in football you're allowed to do kind of like basketball in terms of instruction and things that you're able to do. And it's not like they're going to walk out there on the field and watch each other for the first time.
That is true. I'm curious, though, and I said this a couple weeks ago, and maybe I've been unfair to Jacoby in this situation. I didn't think he had a snowball's chance to win the job, and that's honestly in the outside looking in. I hope it's a better competition than I maybe initially thought it was going to be. I do find that interesting that they are going to. This is the timeline that they are seemingly reportedly working with. Now they're subject again to change their minds at this point. You hope that there's a situation where whoever is that starter, and I don't really care if it's Criswell or Green, Jackson and Malachi are not going to win this job. No disrespect to those two. It's a 2-quarterback race. It's not a 4-quarterback race. It's a 2-quarterback race. You just don't want to be in a situation during the season like you kind of were with Starkle and Hicks, which the program's disarray then. It's a different situation, but where you're flipping back to a certain degree. If Green wins the job in the spring, you want him all 12 games and hopefully a bowl game. If Jacoby wins the job in the spring, you want him being the starting quarterback for all 12 games. What you don't need to happen is, again, flip-flopping of sorts, because if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one, and hopefully they're not in that direction this year.
Well, they're not. Kid from Boise State came in here to start, and I'm sure they recruited him with the idea that he could win the job. You don't bring him in here if you don't think he can win the job. Doesn't mean he will, but I suspect by the time we get to the end of spring, we'll have a pretty good idea, and they'll have a very good idea about who their starting quarterback is. And hey, my understanding too on this spring game, from what I understand, is that there's going to be a real competition.
Well, the other thing I was thinking about with Petrino coming in, and we kind of talked about the helmet situation stuff, which I think will be helpful, is like he's been on Talon since high school. He's known about Talon Green since his Missouri State, since he's been the head coach of Missouri State. And I wonder just how much of an advantage that is for Talon Green starting not just this week, but when it comes to this battle, as Criswell elected to stay here. You would think that he was going to be told by staying here that he's going to have an equal opportunity to earn this job. I just think that not just because of his measurables, but and I know Criswell's been here like you referenced. I just think that Petrino probably knows a little more about Talon Green based on his background than what he has in Jacoby Criswell, which I think is an advantage for Talon Green heading into this spring practice.
Well, I don't know how he could know more about Talon Green than he does now about Jacoby Criswell because he's been around Jacoby and they did separate things after high school.
Mm-hmm.
Talon Green went to Boise State and Petrino was working. So I think just because a guy knew about someone in high school doesn't mean he's like been intimately involved in everything he's done. Now maybe he has been, I don't know, but clearly they brought Green in again with the idea he could win the job, and I'm sure Green came with the idea he was going to be the starter. And Criswell's over here thinking, well, what about me? So I'm sure that Jacoby Criswell will compete in the spring, and I'm sure that he's a competitor. I mean, he transferred here just like Talon Green did,
Mm-hmm.
and so we went through a lot of last season. Let's be honest. A lot of people said, well, I think you ought to put Criswell in a little bit. So, and now we've gone to the extreme. People say, well, he's not even competing for the job, when in reality we've maybe watched him play about 20 plays.
Yeah.
So everything that anyone says is a it's an educated guess is basically what it is. Hey, a word for Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, my partners in buying and selling a home. I remember the first time I did it, and it led to a sale and then another purchase, and you know how it works when you grow up, you grow older, you buy and sell a house a time or two, and for most of us, it's the largest investment we'll ever make. And so you want to partner with someone who takes care of you, so to speak, someone who looks out for you, someone who communicates with you and understands your needs. You also want to work with somebody who understands the business inside and out. Somebody who knows how to get you to who you need to visit with, whether it's as a first-time buyer talking to a lending company or title company or inspectors, or whether or not you're trying to sell a home or sell a piece of property, and understanding exactly what the market is. And you want someone on your side who's well-versed in all that, who communicates with you and keeps you posted on everything that's going on. That was my experience with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, and I think it'll be yours too. Now, they've got offices in northwest Arkansas. They're in Washington County. They're in Benton County. They're in the River Valley and Fort Smith. They've got an office in Branson now, and you can always log on to WeicherGriffin.com.
All right, coming back to what happened in Lexington. Again, Arkansas falls by 9 to the Wildcats. So if you bet Arkansas and the spread, you ended up winning some money on Saturday. Unfortunately, the Hogs lost the game. Must, though, still happy with his team's offensive performance following 100-plus points.
Thought it was by far our best offensive game, not even close. Thought we played as hard as we played all year. The effort, the focus, the belief, all those things were as good as they've been. I mean, it was a locker room that pregame thought they were going to win, halftime thought they were going to win, and throughout the course of the huddles, thought we showed great toughness. I thought we got on the floor for loose balls.
It really started from the jump during that game, Chuck. Arkansas, I think, started 6 for 6 or 5 for 5. You could tell from the opening tip these guys weren't going down without a fight.
Oh, they competed Saturday. It was a terrific ball game. Both sides, both sides could score. Both sides, I thought, played well. I thought it was a great battle, and Kentucky was a little bit better. They were playing at home. They were just a little bit better. But I don't think Arkansas's got anything to hang their heads about. To me, that was just that was a bunch of kids out there enjoying playing basketball, and they put on quite a show.
Battle has another 30-point-plus game. Put that in perspective for us, Chuck. I mean, Mason Jones is the only other player to have this many string together. I mean, that's something.
Well, and this is a guy that again is he's a pure scorer. He's just a scorer. Finds a way to get his points. The thing that I'm encouraged by with Battle over the last few outings is that he's not had to be a black hole to get his points. Some guys get their points, but man, they're a black hole. Ball goes to them, and nobody else is going to touch it that time down the floor. And sometimes that player at the end of the game has a whole bunch of points, and the team's lost. It's not uncommon at all in sports, particularly in basketball, to see a really bad team have one guy that scores a whole bunch of points. That's not what you want. So I was encouraged by the fact that he scored those points within the context of playing team basketball.
And he's just efficient. I mean, 17's not many guys that can shoot. You referenced his free throw shooting last year, which was top 10 in all of college basketball. He's shooting like 91%. He's a little down this year, but, I mean, you go 17 of 18 from the line. You have 34 with only 16 shots. I mean, that just is not typical to see that kind of box score from a college player. But his ability to draw contact, I don't know what his NBA looks are at the next level, but anything he just is so good at getting, like you said earlier, to his right hand, and then his jab step is you don't know where he's going. You don't know if he's going left or right, and then he can shoot it too. He's just a really hard guard right now.
He has, to me, at times, a game that resembles Ricky Council's. There are other times his game does not resemble Ricky Council's at all. But Ricky came in, and my impression anyway, I was not out there, obviously. They may think differently. But my impression was when Ricky got here that, Ricky came to score. He didn't come here to guard people. He came here to score. And I kind of got that impression with Battle, too. Now, I'm not saying their games are identical, but I sometimes am reminded, a little bit of the two together because, hey, Battle's a scorer, man. Battle can he can put points up in the he can put points in the box score.
And I don't have his free throw totals from last year, but I would guess they've gone up because Ricky Council mentioned as a 76er that one of the things he learned from Muss and his coaching staff was the ability to draw fouls, and I would guess that Caleb has learned a lot in that aspect too.
Yeah. Not many times you score 102, boys, in SEC play and lose. 15th time ever both teams were in a plus 100, according to Hog Stats, in an Arkansas game. Hey, the Hangout. Are you tired of overcrowded fitness centers? Let me tell you about a new place in Fort Smith where you'll have the option to actually work out where you're paying a membership for. That's the Hangout, 5400 Gary Street. It's just it's in the Hartscrabble Way neighborhood. It's easy, right in the central part of Fort Smith to find. They got pickleball, racquetball, indoor racket sports, plus a basketball court coming soon outside. If you're looking for help on the courts, they offer group and individual fitness training as well. Hey, be a part of something different, something better that you have needed. It's all at the Hangout. Go to thehangoutfs.com for membership information. Let's hang out.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at Wheels.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line podcast network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936.
Minutes to go, puts the Hogs up by 9. It's 84-75, an 18-3 run.
So, would you jump on a bull that had the name Widowmaker? It's what Barry Odom did this weekend in Las Vegas. We're going to tell you about this story as he was trying to raise money for his football program, and the former Arkansas defensive coordinator. Quite an interesting way to do that in the Las Vegas community.
Yeah, well, anything for the kids, right?
I
Anything
guess.
for the kids. Hey, we're brought to you by Clampett's Country Kitchen. Stop by and see my buddy Joey Clampett. If you love beef jerky the way I do, Clampett's has got a great selection of that. Over 30 flavors of beef jerky, 20 flavors of beef sticks, and got one of the biggest meat markets you're going to see anywhere in Arkansas. Hand-cut steaks, whatever you're looking for, bone-in ribeyes, bone-in New York strips. You look for a specialty pork cup, they're going to have it. They got brats, house-made sausages. It's a full-service place. Plus, they have a daily lunch special and a daily barbecue plate as well. So stop in and see our friends at Clampett's Country Kitchen. They're on Highway 7 between the Hot Springs Village Westgate and Jessieville. You can't miss them. It's all at Clampett's Country Kitchen.
So he lasted less than 3 seconds. The video is worth the watch. Just type in Barry Odom Bull, and it will probably pop up on whatever search engine that your favorite is this morning. But, guys, have you seen this video?
Yep.
Okay.
I have.
Chuck, have you seen it?
I saw it, yes.
It was, I thought it was pretty.
It was quick.
It was quick. And,
he was on Marty and McGee Saturday morning. I was listening here on ESPN Arkansas, and he was talking about this. That's one of the reasons they had him on. But, he's got Oklahoma roots, but he was doing it to get attention for his program. He was very upfront about that, and he told the story when they called and asked him to do it. He was in the middle of working on recruiting, and someone asked him if he'd be involved in the event, this and that. He said yes, and quickly hung up the phone, got back to his recruiting work. He said, and then they called back a few weeks ago to kind of button up the details. And he said, I committed to what? And, so anyway, he was all padded up, ready to go. And, like I said, I think 3 seconds might be gracious in the time he spent on the bull.
He looked like any middle-aged man who ever, after a couple of pops, has hopped on a mechanical bull at a bar.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That's basically what it looked like to me.
Well, here was his thoughts post-bull ride.
He was in control from the start. I tried to catch up, couldn't get there. So
he was in control for the start. Again, the Bulls.
He didn't try very long to get there because it was over.
No,
and,
he took the
as
back
you
door
said,
exit.
about 3 seconds.
Yeah,
You think he could last 8 seconds on Widowmaker?
No.
No?
No.
Good gosh, no.
Why would I want to try would be the question.
Even with two hands?
You couldn't tie.
Oh, I could. My hot take this Monday is I could last 8 seconds. Two hands, though. I can't do one hand.
We'll set this up.
We've got bull riding here in
I would
Arkansas.
pay money
To see me ride a bull.
I would pay money.
I don't know. Hey, this can be a reality.
Oh, there needs to be probably some fundraising involved. Maybe I get a talent fee out of that as well. But Widow, I don't know if
I'd pay you a talent fee.
Would you?
I'd pay you a talent fee to
seconds,
get on Widowmaker.
Yeah,
I certainly would.
I'm
How
sure,
much you want?
I'm sure we'll talk about that off air. Pretty hefty, but evidently
I'd watch that.
I would
How
think.
about 100 a second?
So what would that be? 800, 900 bucks?
I'm gonna guess me and Chuck could probably split 100.
I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want you to do that. That would be a bad deal. I give him credit for getting up there.
I might have to cart me off in that situation if something was to go awry. I'm not scared necessarily riding. The scared aspect of this would be like after I get bucked off that the bull charges me and I get speared with one of them horns or something, or I just get rammed. It's not the actual ride that I would be afraid of. It's the post, like this bull's about to kill me part that terrifies me.
It's not a video game.
Nope.
It's real life.
Yeah.
You get up there on top of that bull, I'm sure it dawns on you that, hey, this is the real deal now.
I'm gonna be honest.
You'd be like Chevy Chase on vacation, getting ready to dive in the pool. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
You might see some
And
trip.
there's no
Christy Brinkley. Christy Brinkley's not there waiting on you this time.
It's some rodeo clown you hope to keep that bull off the top of you.
I'd probably honestly wet myself on the bull right before the bell went off or whatever. I'm just watching that clock as I'm getting bucked up and down. Again, you having to do it one-handed. That would be entertaining for our listeners to be able to. I don't know if it would draw the same attendance and audience that Barry Odom was able to this weekend, but
I'll just tell you right now, there's not enough beer in St. Louis for me to get up there on a bull. I'll just tell you that right now.
Well, we're different ages. We have different body types. I'm a little more limber. And
Ty, I think you're selling it a little bit short. I think there's probably a lot more to it than you're giving those guys credit for.
I can't. Again, I don't want to take light of what they have to accomplish. Two hands, like try and do it for 8 seconds, maybe raise some money for charity and see what happens.
Bro,
hopefully,
just because you own boots and a hat don't make you no cowboy.
I am not. I don't.
I just tell you right now.
Bro cowboy.
Cowboy. I get called country club cowboy from time to time.
Cowboy bros.
But listen, if Coach Odom could do it, maybe I'd give it a whack, give it a shot.
He didn't do it.
But he had the you know whats to get on there though.
Okay. but I mean, he didn't go for 8 seconds.
No, he did not. He was, as Chuck alluded to earlier, he was getting off that sucker.
It was quick.
It was quick.
I give him credit for getting up there, though.
You got to have some stones to do it.
Got to have courage.
Yeah.
So
props to Coach Odom for doing that this weekend.
TGI Fridays in Fort Smith, 3 to 6 and 9 to close, Monday through Friday, half-price drinks and $5 appetizers that you can enjoy. So if you're getting an early start to dinner or maybe a late night out, be sure and put TGI Fridays on your list. And, hey, it's Monday, so 50-cent wings today at TGI Fridays. If you love wings, they got several great flavors, including their buffalo, including the barbecue, and others that you can choose from. And don't forget happy hour, 3 to 6 and 9 to close at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith with half-price drinks, $5 appetizers, and 50-cent wings on Monday. TGI Fridays, 540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
So outside of the bull riding, we still got some other stuff to get into, including an Oklahoma school that raised money by licking peanut butter off of each other's toes. They raised like $152,000 in this just nutso story, and the school apparently is getting some pushback from that. We got that and our SEC update to get to, some good games in college basketball this weekend. We'll tell you about them coming up.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts. The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
This is the Morning Rush.
And he's in. Touchdown, Arkansas.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Spring is just around the corner, and Jelco Outdoors is ready with all of your spring fishing gear. Crappie, bass, catfish, Jelco has a great selection of rods, reels, and baits to help you fill that stringer. Spring turkey supplies are rolling in daily, and the firearms department is stocked up with ammo for outdoor shooting. Spring is almost here, so get outdoors and enjoy the spring season. Stop by Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, for all your outdoor gear. Think spring, think Jelco Outdoors.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Diamond Center is proud to present our inaugural Whiskey and Watches event. Now is your chance to get your hands on that timeless timepiece you've been dreaming of. Between now and Thursday, April 25th, in our Fort Smith store, call or stop by to pre-order your watch. Then join us on Thursday, April 25th for a night of celebration featuring rare whiskeys, cigars, and luxury watches. This is your opportunity to add that watch that you've always had an eye on to your collection. For more information or to pre-order your watch today, give us a call. The Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we have the biggest and best selection of premium pre-owned vehicles we've had in years. Many with low miles and those special features you're looking for, and each one road ready certified with warranty. Be sure to ask about the weekly specials that can save you up to $4,000. Road ready certified used cars and savings up to $4,000. Two more reasons all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC finals. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
All right, so several SEC basketball games this weekend that were highly contested. We know what happened in Lexington. Unfortunately, Arkansas fell, but your guys battled all game long. Thought they ended up going to win. Unfortunately, Kentucky was just too much at the end. South Carolina got a big win against Florida, 82-76. Other ranked matchup that day was Tennessee at Alabama, where the Vols edged out the Crimson Tide with a 7-point victory in Coleman Coliseum. Dalton Knecht came up big there once again. LSU beat Vandy by 14. Auburn beat Mississippi State by 15. A&M beat Georgia by 14. And then Ole Miss beat Missouri by 6 on the road. Missouri still yet to win an SEC game. One of the storylines from Lexington that we failed to mention yet this morning, basically 2 hours and 45 minutes in the show, is Jalen Graham did not make the trip to work on academics. I got that email mid-game, basically. Was wondering where he was, and we found out. Don't know if he's going to be available for Wednesday. Don't know if Muss will update it on that. But we've yet to talk about that this morning.
Yeah, it's kind of unusual because normally they won't give you a reason why a player's not there unless there's an obvious injury and they're recovering. Sometimes when it's pretty obvious what's going on, they'll state that. But generally, when it's academic reasons, you don't ever know that. So that's what caught my attention a little more than anything is the transparency in the reason for the absence.
Yep. We got baseball this month in the Southeastern Conference. Your starting pitching has looked good so far, including Mr. Brady Tigert.
Here's Tigert's pitch. He struck him out swinging on a curveball. And that's the second 1-2-3 strikeout of the inning for Brady Tigert, and he has struck out 5 of the first 6 batters. It almost feels right now like he and Hagen Smith are doing the Annie Oakley. Anything you can do, I can do better.
Then Mason Molina added 10 more Ks on Sunday as well. Starting pitching looked good, and Dave was very impressed with not just Tigert, but pitching overall.
It was obviously a really, really good first 4+ innings for Brady. I mean, he was spotting that fastball to his glove side. Breaking ball was amazing. Just did a nice job of getting ahead of most all hitters, and we only walked 1 the whole game. I think they walked 8. I think he was just pounding the outer half to the right-handers with that fastball, and he got ahead of them. His breaking ball today was it's the best it's been all year.
So congrats to the Arkansas baseball team taking 3 games this weekend, sweeping the Racers, and again getting closer to conference play. UCA tomorrow, and Tommy, I just drew a McNeese State this weekend.
Then Oral Roberts a week from tomorrow. Then you start conference play with Missouri at Baum-Walker. So this is the final non-conference weekend tune-up, and then also with conference play beginning, these 3 o'clock starts for Friday games will go away, and you'll still have maybe a midweek game here and there, but I believe the Oral Roberts game may still be at 3, but you'll start having 6 and 6:30 starts, 6:30 I believe for Missouri. But let's get through McNeese. Let's get through UCA, which I don't think will be an easy game, and they'll come up here and challenge Arkansas, the McNeese State this weekend. So 3, 4, 5 games before you begin SEC play.
Yep. Basketball-wise, women's basketball side of things, still yet to determine when Arkansas will play completely. You're probably going to play next Wednesday night, men's side, but it's not 100% nailed down just yet. We do know when the women are playing, they'll play the Auburn Tigers this Thursday, 5 o'clock on the SEC Network in Greenville. Phil will be out for that. Also want to mention some college football rules that look like they're happening. The radio and the headsets, 2-minute warning, and then tablets on the sideline. I would say in order of significance, radio and the headsets, then the 2-minute warning, then the tablets on the sideline. I know that the tablets impact the game, but in terms of what our listeners care about, definitely the radio and the headsets has been talked about.
Well, I think what will impact end-of-game strategy more than anything is the 2-minute warning.
Yeah.
Which, we've seen in the NFL for years and years and years, but have not had that in this game. It's another television timeout to play more commercials, but we'll change end-of-game timeout strategy. We'll change some of the things there. So it'll be interesting to see if that passes and what happens in that regard.
Last thing here, Pete Maravich, former LSU Tiger, got his scoring total passed this weekend by Caitlin Clark, and she kind of did it in one of the most dramatic of fashion. It was at the free throw line.
Going up in Cedar Rapids. Now Caitlin at the line. For the record, he ties it with that one. This for college basketball history.
It was kind of, again, weird. Ohio State got a technical foul, and then she hit those 2 free throws. But not only, again, the all-time score in women's basketball history, but now in college basketball history, which are a really significant moment. I'm not going to lie, with Arkansas basketball, women's basketball not having a great season. I haven't watched much of them at all. I will watch her in the NCAA tournament when it gets closer to the Final Four, because she is just as entertaining as it gets when it comes to a college basketball player.
And the numbers she's drawing from a ratings perspective and NIL perspective and everything is incredible. She may be, I don't know, she may be the highest paid NIL athlete out there. I know that you got, what's her name, the gymnast, Olivia Dunn down at LSU, and then